Welcome back to PlayStation Live from E3. Oh my goodness gracious, one of the biggest surprises to come out of the PlayStation E3 Media Showcase just the other night. Herman Hulst, we're getting a big, beefy Horizon Zero Dawn DLC.
It's going to be very substantial.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about working on this now.
So give me kind of the elevator pitch on what this is going to be. I mean, is this just like a couple extra missions? Is this like, you know, there's a few side quests? I get the sense it's bigger than that.
It's very chunky. I mean, we start with a new territory, a new realm. We go across the northern mountain range into the territory of the Banuk, the tribespeople of the Banuk.
Oh, the Banuk.
Yeah, and so they
yeah.
are very hardy because they have to be. They live in these wildlands they're so cold, and it's so hard to survive there. But it's very beefy. It's a good size map. I mean, I can't really give you the details on the hours and things like that, but there will be plenty of new stuff in there. So obviously you're going to explore their culture. There will be new challenges, new quests and settlements for Aloy to pick up. There will be new weapons, new. Yeah, there's a lot of new stuff. Yeah.
Can I scold them for putting their artifacts in the hardest places on the map to find them?
yeah, you know, we'll keep you busy, right?
Look, it wouldn't be any fun if they're just laying out in the middle of a field.
Yeah, I know.
You got to make you work for that stuff.
I know.
You explore.
Yeah, it made me explore.
The game is about exploration.
All right, so what can we expect from a narrative standpoint with the DLC? Is it going to expand beyond the actual story of Horizon, or is it something that's kind of just separate? It could be seen as more so a side quest.
Well, we're going to continue Aloy's journey. So obviously in the main game, in the base game, she has resolved some of the biggest mysteries that haunted her since birth.
Right.
But there are plenty of quests for her to unravel. So it is a story element that we're adding. It's a chapter. Let's call it a new chapter in Aloy's journey.
I like that.
That's a big part of it. And she is one of the few people that's brave enough to cross into these very inhospitable lands. And she's heard whispers about some deep secrets that are buried. She's heard about this ferocious new machine threat that's out there. So it's these kind of things that you'll be participating in.
Okay.
That's awesome. So obviously Horizon Zero Dawn, huge fan favorite. A lot of folks are saying it may be in the running for Game of the Year this year. I would absolutely agree with that. It's a beautiful game. I mean, I think it's the showcase piece of content for PlayStation 4 Pro. With the 4K and HDR, just a gorgeous game, a smart game, a well-written game, a fun game. You guys checked every box out there.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to hire you to do the PR.
So why do an add-on? Why expand the story? What was the motivation?
Well, from a development perspective, right? When you do your first open-world game, you finish the game, you have all the tools, all the technology, all the knowledge in order. So you're kind of itching to make more of it. But also, I think there are a lot of people now, even though it's a very big game, Horizon Zero Dawn, there's a lot of people that completed, achieved platinum, and they want more. Yeah. So we're going to add this entire new chapter with a new set of trophies, and it's just more of this goodness for people that we're giving them.
That's great.
Yeah.
So another thing I know about Horizon Zero Dawn, it's got a very dedicated fan base. And I think one of the areas you really see that is in photo mode.
Yes.
And you guys have actually been doing a lot of work with photo mode, kind of enhancing it, adding new features, adding new emotes for Aloy, just to kind of make it a cooler feature of the game.
This is actually, so photo mode is something that wasn't planned at the beginning. It was a feature that fortunately made it into the final game, and it actually got close, to be honest. But us continuing to develop that and through our patches, elaborating on that is one of those examples of communicating and being in touch with the fan base.
These are all in-game stills that gamers actually grab.
And it's so incredible. A lot of people, they finish the game and they keep coming back to it, and they just want to be in this world. And
wow.
You could frame that and hang it on a wall.
And we do that at Gorilla. We invite people over sometimes.
That's great.
It's just amazing the photographic eye that some of the fans have. It's truly incredible.
And you guys, I think, I've seen a lot of great photo mode implementations over the years. PS4 obviously has that share button, which makes sharing content out on the web and social really, really simple. But you guys, I think, have the most full-featured photo mode that I've seen. I mean, it's incredibly in-depth. You could get lost in it. It's practically an application unto itself.
It actually stems a little bit from our past with Killzone, where we invested so much effort, so much art direction, so much technology in creating every little bit of detail. And now in this open world, we can actually get people to pause and experiment with the right frames, with the right angles, etc. And they are actually now affording themselves more time and more space to take in the details of this world that we spent so much time and effort to craft, to produce. And so it's actually really fulfilling. Even though it seems like it's a lot of work, it's actually it's a really good return on investment in terms of getting people to appreciate the details and the specific shots in this world.
Right.
Stuff. Speaking of dedicated fan base, I know there's a large cosplay following around the game. We've seen some of them here at E3. A lot of great Aloy cosplayers out there, and some of the other major characters.
I might be one of them someday.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it.
Aloy.
The red wig, man. I'm thinking about it. I'm still thinking about it.
What's interesting is Guerrilla has been really good about sort of arming fans with tips and guides and assets and how to do it in a proper way. I mean, do you think this is something that like a major studio these days, is that like part of your responsibility? Is that part of your charter?
You know what?
Look at these cosplayers.
Yeah, it's some incredible shots there. Yeah. You know what? I don't know about responsibility. It's something that our team really wants to do.
Yeah.
We had, I think we invited over, I see some image of Raven, of Skunk. Our team is really honored to get people to invest so much time and dedication and belief in our characters. We had people out at our studio launch party, for instance. It's something that the team wants to do. It's sort of the biggest honor you can get as a developer when people put in that much time and energy into participating in your world.
Yeah.
The guys are over the moon that we have such a big following in that segment.
Well, I mean, I think it's kind of a testament to the awesome, characters that you guys designed, I mean, look at the costumes or the gear that the Karja wear. That's something that I was always into. Like, the Karja gear is really nice, That's something that I can envision myself cosplaying. I'm somebody who never really thinks about cosplaying, but I sit there and I watch it, and I'm like, that's something I would actually wear. That's really cool.
And you know what? It's not something when you're making a game like that you can plan out.
Right.
I think it was 10, 14 days after we unveiled Horizon Zero Dawn at E3, that was 2015, there was already a couple of handfuls of cosplayers. And so you don't prepare for that. I mean, that kind of be arrogant to say, we're going to make the greatest game for cosplay scene. It doesn't work that way. People decide to identify with your character. And once they do that, you try to help them out. You try to make a guide for them to use, and it goes back and forth. So it's kind of helping each other out.
I mean, looking back on it, I don't think it's very common to have a game pre-release have tons of cosplayers already stepping into the role. So was that sort of an early indication? Obviously, Horizon Zero Dawn has sold very, very well, been a huge hit for you guys, been a huge hit for PlayStation. Was that an early indication that you guys were on to something with the game?
If anything, I thought it was a huge indication that there's great appetite for characters such as Aloy. I've heard a lot from cosplayers that I've spoken to personally, that some of these girls that were in their 20s, they said, well, I so much wish I had a character like that when I was in my teens, right? To aspire to. So I think there was a huge craving for a character like that. That was not so much by design, because Aloy came about as we created this game, right? She was there from the beginning, but it's not like we prepared for a cosplay scene. But I love it so much that people are drawn to this character in this way.
Right. This is kind of a little bit off subject from the cosplay, but I do want to ask you this, me being a big Horizon fan. I noticed in the game, Aloy really never had any specific love interest. In a lot of action-adventure games, you see that the main character ends up eventually falling in love with somebody, and there are definitely people who, confess that they're interested in Aloy. Was it kind of you guys' decision, though, to keep her focused on her mission and really not into any of that?
Aloy is very driven. She was born an outcast, and she is a woman on a mission, right? She really was not gonna waste her time in this game. But I've heard that request too. People are interested in her to explore her romantic interests. It's not something she particularly had a lot of time for in Horizon.
Well, she's like, I'm trying to kind of mitigate an apocalypse right now,
She's very independent, and that's what I think's appealing about her is she's a fascinating character unto herself. She's got a very interesting backstory. And she's really, like you said, she's very driven. She's driven to sort of find out what happened in her past and kind of get to the bottom of everything. So just a really cool turn for the character. I think there's a reason people are so interested in her.
Yes.
They're so interested in the rest of the cast that she deals with in the game. So kudos to you folks at Guerrilla Games. You made a modern classic, I think it's safe to say.
Yeah, for sure.
I like that. I like the sound of that, a modern classic.
All right, that's good. And what can you tell us about when the Frozen Wilds is going to be hitting for Horizon Zero Dawn?
So it'll definitely be here this year. So in this calendar year, 2017, and we'll have to pick a date for it. We'll follow up with more details, not just on the date, but also, you know, on what machines, what exactly the threats are, more details on the Banuk as a tribe, on the mysteries, etc.
Okay.
Well, a lot more details over the coming months that we're going to spill.
Well, I'm glad you could give us a sneak peek at what you guys have been working on. I think that's great, and always happy to have you on the show.
Oh,
can I throw one more? Can I throw one more thing?
Oh yeah,
I got one more thing.
Let's do it.
Okay,
one more thing.
There was an after credit.
Jobs here.
There was an after credit scene. We saw a certain character with a certain little gizmo in his hand. I know. I think you know what I'm talking about. So
spoilers now.
I don't want to spoil it. That's why I'm not exactly saying any names. But will the DLC focus on that scene that we saw in the after credits at all?
This guy. Spoiler alert.
For information. Look at that. That's a real fan right there.
Yeah,
I'm a fan.
We'll have a chat after the show.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Good enough. Good enough. All right. I'm cool with that.
Good question. Glad we can slip that one in. Herman, always a pleasure. Thanks for coming by. We've got a lot more PlayStation Live from E3 lined up. Soon up, we're going to be seeing Super Hot VR, one I've had my eye on for quite some time. So stay with us.
PlayStation